Hey, it's Eric. Before we can really start writing a lot of application code, we need to make sure that we have a framework in place so that we can write unit and, more importantly, integration tests. Watch as we set up a new NUnit test project in .NET Core. It's a little bit different than it used to be.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, so we got the Ansible environment variable set, so now we actually have things working in our dev environment, right? So that's pretty cool. So one of the things we mentioned yesterday that might be fun was we wanted to test some of the code that we wrote without having to spin up the whole app, right? And so I'll be the first to admit that I pretty much hate unit tests and think they're a waste of time. However, I do think there's a place for them, and I think we probably need some unit testing strategy for this project, even though, like, in my own personal world, like, I think integration tests are really nice, and with Redis especially because it's so fast, you can just write integration tests, which is probably what we're gonna do, right?
Fortunately, we can kind of intermingle everything since they'll be so fast because they're all gonna hit Redis anyway.
And we're not fucking purists, right? Like, fuck a bunch of best practices. We're gonna do what we want. So, to that end, the unit testing story in .NET Core 3.1 is pretty shitty. Number one, test-driven.NET, which is like my favorite Visual Studio test runner plugin, does not support .NET Core. So you're already out of that. Number two, like, if you want Visual Studio's Test Explorer to pick up those tests, you actually need like a bunch of NuGet packages. So I originally tried to get XUnit set up because that's what we used in Track.js. And like, it was just not integrating with my Visual Studio. Like, Visual Studio like couldn't find the tests. So what I did the last time
Additionally, I'd really like to be able to run tests from my Mac client.
And so that same that same vein, I think we have a sad but maybe only one choice.
MS test.
I think so. I know. And like dude, like who has two thumbs and hates MS tests? This guy. However, like, let me show you a little something here. So I propose that we create a test project. In the past, we've had like an infrastructure.test and like a web.test. Do we need that, or can we just get away with one test project?
I like the idea of a .test, yeah.
Do you think, will we get any sort of like circular dependency issues with that?
Essentially, the test project will depend on everything.
Everything, yeah, like it will, yeah.
Which is great, right? Like,
but that should be okay. We'll just need to figure out, but that having a project-specific test for each project gave us an organization that we'll just need to create ourselves.
Yeah.
So we'll probably want to create top-level folders with
web
project
and
names
infrastructure and
sounds fair.
So we're gonna call this request metrics.test, right? And we'll put it in source, where yesterday I thought was the wrong place, but today I know is the right place. And we're off to the races. So let's just see, out of curiosity, what happens here. Okay, so it took a little while, but it does say that we're going. Now, if we look at the dependencies here, we've got .NET Core here, and then you can see we've got NUnit, and then we have this test adapter. So this is the new thing for .NET Core, and I don't pretend to be an expert on this, but this like magic thing is how it all like plays together. So if we look at Test Explorer, does it have any tests? Ooh,
build your solution.
It found it.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Okay, boys. We've got one. It's called test. I don't necessarily love that it's 3 layers deep, but let's ignore that for now. Test run finish. 1 pass, 1 failed. Yep. So then it took 22 milliseconds. The one thing that sort of stinks, I think, like if we do, so I was playing with this, and so if I just want to know, what is that not? We don't even have system in here, huh? So if I just like want to write my name in this test, one thing I should be able to do, I should be able to use, so here's test-driven.net. This doesn't work. Don't bother. When you try it, it says, hey, we don't support .NET Core. This should work. Test run finished, 1 total test. The one thing that sort of sucks, like the output is not in here easy to see. It's like it doesn't. You notice how it doesn't say Eric in here? What you have to do is you have to go over here and open additional output for that test run, and then it will...
Because it ran it like an out-of-band process and pulled it all together.
And that's why testdriven.net is so nice. He is working on it, I think, but it's not ready yet. So, well, that actually was not too bad. So,
all right, well, should we write a test for the thing that we wrote yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. One thing we may actually... Yes. One thing we're going to run into potentially, as I recall, is an NUnit. Remember, pathing is kind of weird because, like, it's the get executing assembly locate. We'll have to see if all that stuff works, but let's try it. Right? Why not? So we probably want to get rid of this file eventually. What folder structure do we want to do?
I would say let's just call it infrastructure. Like, we don't need to be like fully redundant with everything. We'll know what that means.
Yeah, and then we can do this. And why don't we do request metrics config tests.cs? How about that?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And I am just going to copy this guy because I just will clean him up in a second. So we don't need this. We can have a setup. That's fine. Let's see, will it find my unit? It does. I'll leave the setup here for now. And so then what do we want to do? We want to say...
well, let's look again at what we were doing before.
Yep, so he...
Like, what does config do again?
Yep, so we can load, which I was thinking like this might be a good one to test. We'll feed it an environment, and then we can assert based on current, like that it pulled the right environment in.
That seems right. Because it'd be hard to test the other one.
Yeah,
it reaches out into a system.
I'm sure we can.
Also, this probably proves that we didn't break that JSON config, right? Like
right.
Conveniently.
Yeah.
Side effect of it.
Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do this, and then hopefully it'll find it. Okay. So I need to add a reference here to the request metrics.infrastructure project where that thing lives. So there he is. And so then let's load. And then which environment do you guys want to load? Should we just do local for now?
Yeah.
We could even load a test environment someday if we wanted to. Okay, so then we can do current.environment, right?
You know what? In fact, we should do unknown because the lifetime of like, if we load local, it might not like change it later if another test runs. Like the next time we have a test running that does something, it might like just use this local that we already have set up.
So you think maybe we should make a test environment?
Well, yeah, one that definitely does not reach out and do anything.
Or at least it does to a test Redis that we know that we want. So let's, because we've done that before. Like I think Track.js has a test one too, and eventually we want to run these on the build box, right? Mm-hmm. So like it'd be good to have this guy. So we'll do this. Just check this. Okay. So this is gonna be test. For now, I'm just gonna point him.
Yeah, that's fine.
As at my guy, and we'll just go with it. The other thing we're gonna need is a test here, right? So we've got this guy. Okay, so then we'll test. All right, and so this is really interesting. I hit enter, and it does not.
You have an extra
indented.
tab indentation for all of your methods.
Not anymore. Good. Current dot environment, right? And so we're going to assert r equal, and so then I want this guy to be my expected is test. That is going to be that, and we're gonna run this guy and see what happens. Passed. So that's, I don't trust that for shit. So let's see what happens if we change it and watch it fail. One failed. I'm looking down here, by the way. So I think we could also do this. Awesome. So we have our first test here.
Lovely.
Boom.
Man, we're like.
Is there anything else about that request metrics config that we think is test worthy?
That made me happy enough.
That actually did make me happy enough too. I did not expect it to go that smoothly, and I am actually happy that we went with NUnit because I feel like I get PTSD whenever I think about MS Test a little bit.
Does the class need to be public? Apparently not, because it's just ran.
Apparently not for the test.
The test class?
Yeah.
We can. I don't know. For some reason, I just like to do it. But cool. Okay.
Cool.
Let's
I would actually propose let's delete that fake test.
Oh yeah, thank you. I forgot about that.
Check this in, and then I'd actually like to load this and see if it works for me, if that's cool.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so now I open up Visual Studio, or let's pop this open, freshly retrieved, and here we go. And I'll load it. I mean, it didn't throw any errors when we started this bad boy up.
It's restoring some packages, it looks like. Saving.
Yep, pulling some things from NuGet.
Just a couple of things.
Woo! Ooh, lots and lots and lots of stuff.
Project saved, okay.
So, all right, so we should be able to build this, and it should all build. There's not a lot of the feedback's up there sometimes and down there.
Okay.
Oh, this UI is a little.
They made it not similar.
All right, so how can I?
Do you have a test? Do you have under view? Do you have like a test explorer just to see does it have like a similar thing? View test. Did you see that guy? He's right under debug there.
Oh, look, I have tests. I have unit tests. Run them.
Oh!
It's just called test infrastructure. Oh, look how deep that is.
It's even deep. Eric was complaining. It's even deeper.
Yeah.
Where is all this coming from?
Well, like one of us got to be the project name.
So the project name
maybe.
Oh yeah.
Class name.
Yeah, it's the namespace.
Let me change this here though, and make sure this is actually doing things. Oh, yeah, they all
They just
failed.
hard-coded it to always be green.
Don't look past that.
Wait for the bug report. Guys, just ship it.
All right, it worked.
Awesome. Do you have any Git changes after doing this?
Good call. Nope.
Dude! That's fucking sweet.
Boom.
I think
I'd call that done.
Dude,
We have tests.
I'm really excited about that actually.